Democrats declare their victory in the House of Representatives marks a new day in America. But a new dawn too for American foreign policy. Not so, says analyst Peter Trubowitz.
The main play that Donald Trump now has is on the foreign policy side, where he has much more discretionary authority and room to maneuver than he does on the domestic side. So I would actually look for Trump to double down on trade with China, on Iran, and on the border with Mexico.
Trubowitz says Democrats may offer support for Trump's stance on China. Washington has imposed tariffs on $250 billion of imports, accusing Beijing of unfair trade practices. Chinese officials refuse to comment on the election results. Europe also fears US tariffs on its key exports, like cars. Germany's foreign minister said Wednesday the election results are unlikely to ease tensions.
Niemand wird uns das abnehmen. Auf die Devise America first.
On this side of the Atlantic, we have to find an answer to the U.S. motto of America first, which to me can only be Europe United.
Nur Europe United heißt.
In Moscow, a spokesperson for Russian President Vladimir Putin said relations with the US would not change, as it would be hard to make them any worse. Meanwhile, US policy in the Middle East is unlikely to change radically, say analysts.
When it comes to the selling of weapons to Saudi Arabia and the Middle East, we may hear some voices, and there may be a call to end the war in Yemen.
Israel urged President Trump to push forward with his peace plan, which has seen the US move its embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Palestinian officials urged a change of course.
The Democrats in the United States are getting closer to a position that may lead eventually to a peace process.
There was global praise for the record number of women elected to Congress, including Democrat Rashida Tlaib, born to Palestinian immigrants. Tlaib's uncle spoke from his home in the West Bank.
All the region is proud of Rashida for her victory as the first Arab Palestinian Muslim to reach this position.
World leaders will now be wondering what comes next, says Trubowitz.
Whether or not to wait Donald Trump out. In other words, to play for time over the next 2 years. This will be the calculation being made in Tehran, in Beijing, and perhaps in some European capitals as well.
That calculation would appear tough to solve, with US politics seen as increasingly volatile. Henry Ridgwell for VOA News, London.